All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tearing into a topic that literally keeps fleet owners up at night, the financially devastating reality of cargo damage claims. If you've spent any time around the trucking, logistics, or shipping industry, you already know moving freight is a high-stakes game. The margins are incredibly thin. But what happens when things go totally off the rails? Let's dive into it. Here is our roadmap for today: the cargo nightmare, who takes the blame, the big 5 failures, an insurance reality check, and finally, how to protect yourself. Let's get right to it. Section 1. The cargo nightmare. We are kicking things off with a scenario that, honestly, is absolutely terrifying. And the worst part? It happens every single day. Just picture this for a second. You bump the dock, throw open the trailer doors, and total disaster. The freight is completely trashed. Maybe it's crushed pallets, maybe it's spoiled food or soaking wet electronics. The receiver takes one look and flat out refuses the load. Bam! You've got 150 grand sitting in the back of your trailer, and within seconds, everybody starts pointing fingers. It is wild how fast your business partners turn into aggressive legal adversaries. So who actually pays the claim? That is the multi-thousand-dollar question. You've got the carrier, the broker, the shipper, the insurance companies, and the battle over who eats this massive bill is brutal. It gets so legally complicated so fast, and it triggers this whole chain reaction of liability that can quite literally paralyze a business. Section 2, who takes the blame? To figure out who pays, we first got to pin down who is legally responsible the very second that freight gets loaded. Now, there is a massive point of confusion here. Usually, the carrier holds the primary legal burden. Look, the moment that cargo is picked up, signed for, and in your control, you are legally on the hook for getting it there safely. Brokers? Well, they might not have physical control, but their contracts are notorious for sneaking in these super specific ironclad liability terms and claim deductions. The major takeaway? Even though the carrier is primarily responsible, you absolutely have to read those broker agreements like a hawk before you dispatch a single truck. Moving right along to Section 3, the big 5 failures. Let's dig into the actual autopsies of real-world claims to see exactly how these catastrophic losses happen out on the road. Failure number 1, improper load securement. We're talking loose straps, terrible weight distribution, wobbly pallets. Imagine a flatbedder who didn't properly secure a load of heavy steel coils. Traffic stops suddenly. They slam on the brakes. And that shifting freight basically turns into a wrecking ball. You just can't argue with physics, right? Poor securement is almost always an unforced error. And when that heavy freight shifts unexpectedly, it doesn't just scratch the product. It causes catastrophic trailer rollovers. The devastation is total. It rips right through the equipment and creates a massive safety hazard. At this point, it is not just a cargo claim anymore. It is a full-blown highway incident, pulling in tow companies, local cops, and bringing down some severe FMCSA scrutiny. In one real-world autopsy from our sources, a securement failure with steel coils instantly triggered a $180,000 cargo loss. 180 grand. And you better believe a number like that sparks a ridiculously aggressive negligence investigation from the insurers. They will completely tear apart FMCSA securement compliance, driver logs, and training records. All right, failure number 2, reefer temperature failures. These are some of the most bitterly fought claims in the whole industry because a tiny temperature mistake can nuke an entire shipment in a matter of hours. Maybe the reefer unit shuts down overnight, maybe fuel levels drop too low, or a driver just misses a subtle warning light on the dash. Next thing you know, a trailer full of temperature-sensitive product is completely destroyed. Think about a reefer shutting down on the load of frozen chicken. The temp spikes, bacteria goes absolutely crazy, and the whole load is trash. And listen, insurance companies will dig deep. They'll pull the reefer download reports, fuel receipts, maintenance logs. They want to know the exact ambient air temp at 3 a.m., and they have the technology to find out if the driver missed a crucial warning. In this specific chicken disaster, that shutdown reefer led to a completely rejected load and a brutal $140,000 loss. That is a massive financial hit for a mistake that, honestly, could have probably been caught with active monitoring or just basic preventative maintenance. The final 3 fatal failures rounding out our top 5 are water, delay, and theft. A leaking trailer roof during a storm isn't just bad luck. It soaked a load of electronics in one case, causing a $70,000 loss because of one bad seal. Then there's delay. Say a truck breaks down and this is a warehouse appointment for fresh produce. The freight might look perfectly fine, but the market value tanks. That was a $45,000 loss right there. And lastly, theft, which is exploding right now when drivers leave trailers unattended in unsecured lots. Case in point, a driver made the mistake of leaving a fully loaded trailer unattended overnight in an unsecured parking lot. It got stolen. The result? A staggering $220,000 death claim. For numbers that big, insurers will put everything under a microscope, hunting through parking locations, GPS history, and driver decisions for any breach of duty. Section 4, the insurance reality check. This brings us to a dangerously common assumption that a lot of fleet owners make about their coverage. We've got to shatter this myth right now. So many folks think, hey, if the cargo gets damaged, my insurance automatically pays, right? Absolutely wrong. Cargo claims are investigated intensely. Discovering a policy exclusion after you've suffered a massive loss is quite literally a trucker's worst nightmare. It leaves operations entirely on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars out of pocket. Insurers don't just blindly write checks. They actively investigate negligence, load securement, reefer logs, and security compliance. If you messed up, they will know. But the real kick in the teeth are the exclusions. A lot of policies specifically exclude high-risk stuff, iPhones, luxury goods, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, unless you have a special endorsement. If you haul a load of electronics on a general freight policy and they get swiped, your claim isn't just delayed, it is instantly flat-out denied. Finally, Section 5, how to protect yourself. With premiums basically doubling for some, or carriers becoming completely uninsurable after frequent claims, you need a rock-solid defense protocol. Your survival really comes down to 3 crucial steps. First, always inspect for visible issues and reject unsafe loads. Never, ever blindly trust a shipper loading count. Second, document the bill of lading perfectly. Any damage notes at pickup or delivery can make or break your claim. If you're silent, you're basically admitting fault. And step 3, take photos. Lots of them. Documentation is your ultimate shield. So, what exactly should you be photographing? The loaded trailer, the exact securement methods used, the seal numbers on the doors, the condition of any damaged freight the exact second you spot it, and the final delivery condition. These photos are literally your bulletproof, money-saving evidence when the inevitable legal fistfight over fault kicks off. I want to highlight this stark reality from our sources. The biggest lesson truckers learn way too late, they discover their cargo insurance problems after the freight is already damaged. By then, the broker is screaming, the shipper is filing a claim, the insurer is sniffing around, and the lawsuit is already active. Seriously, do not wait until disaster strikes to find out what your policy actually covers. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Is your current documentation, your loading protocol, and your insurance knowledge actually bulletproof enough to survive a devastating investigation? Or are you just one bad load, one unexpected temperature drop, or one shifted pallet away from closing your doors for good? Take control of your ops today. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Stay sharp and stay safe out there.